live every Thursday. I will. It's Liz. Hello, Liz. You're watching me on Instagram. How are you doing? We've not seen you over here before. So I am currently multi-streaming across a few different platforms. I've got this camera over here, which is going to everywhere else, and this camera over here, which is going to Instagram. So if you're Instagram, hello. This is me doing more of what I said I was going to do, which is streaming on Instagram. So if you've not joined me before for Content and Cocktails, welcome. I know, Liz, you have. You're a regular. But what we do is we take a bit of time. My other camera keeps on going on and offline. I'm just going to let me just check my connection on that camera. There we go. You're very clever, of course. Yeah. I think being very clever is definitely one of the things I am not. What I am able to do is connect wires together and attempt to make things go when I press the right buttons, and they are not doing that right now. Which is, we'll see how this live goes. It's got all the hallmarks of a live broadcast that the wheels could come off of. So I'm just gonna go and double check all of the locations where this is supposed to be going. But yeah, the wonderful world of kind of a video is my kind of, it's my playground. I love it. And every week when I have been able to, which hasn't been as often of late, Thursday evenings is Content and Cocktails. 7 o'clock, I sit down with this little book here, which is 100 Cocktails by Bernard, which is a beautiful little book, cocktail book from the 1940s. It was given to me by my grandfather, and I pick a cocktail from it, I make it, and we spend some time talking about video content creation. What I want to talk about today is kind of an important one, actually. So in the description, I've used the phrase core content, and core content is what we're going to be talking about tonight. So I want to help you get your heads around what you could be using as core content, how it fits into your business, what it will do in the different stages of the kind of the journey into people's kind of into people's journey into your world. And that is, broadly speaking, what we're going to be working our way through. So I'm currently live on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, basically everywhere where there is kind of the ability to go live. I am currently live there. So we're going to be talking a little bit about core content, core video content, and how that will help your business and how you can be creating that. But before that, we've got the cocktail part of this. So I've been working my way through now. I've had to skip one because I realized forward a couple to the Applejack cocktail, and it's Calvados cocktail, which I do like very much. So it's a third of a measure of Calvados, a dash of Angostura bitters, a teaspoon of creme de cacao, and a tumbler full of broken ice, and a cherry, and a dash of lemon peel juice. So we are going to fill a tumbler and then just stir those ingredients together and then strain into a cocktail glass. And once I've done that, I will then sit back and we can talk video content creation. So I'm coming live from my very messy study. I'm in the process of getting trying to sort out an office on on the Dartington estate down here in Devon, and I went around and had a look. There we go. We'll try that again. Yeah, so the Dartington estate is where we're looking to move to, and it's really rather lovely. So let's get on with this, shall we? Little mixing glass, ice, there, mix in here. So we want a measure of. So I went and got this Calvados. I realised we didn't have any Calvados left, which is a serious oversight. So we've got to say in. Where's my measure? There it is. Measure of Calvados. So if you're watching on LinkedIn, hello to you guys who are on LinkedIn. If you're watching on Instagram, well, hello, because this is something entirely new to me. Not entirely new, but certainly not a platform I regularly go on. There we go. That's that there. Splash of Angostura. This is a nice one. It's not one I've had for ages, but Continent Cocktails is an interesting one, because it started out. It really sort of came into its. It came into its sort of primacy just before the first lockdown in 2019. That was when we were really rocking it. That's when it really first started, and it sort of grew from there. And that was really nice. Now, for those of you who are sort of long-term Continent Cocktails viewers will know that many of the cocktails that come out of 100 Cocktails and how to mix them are very much of these sort of brown and slightly atomically strong variety, as they generally tend to involve all sorts of kind of hard to get but incredibly potent liqueurs and stuff like that. Hey, hello, how are you doing? Cheers. Oh, this first, hang on. You never quite know what you're getting. So this is it's an interesting little book. In as much it really is, it's a little bit of a drinkable. But tonight we've lucked out. So cheers. So core content. What do I mean when I say core content? Core content in your business, when it comes to video, is a concept that I've sort of over the years, it's sort of naturally developed. It's this sense that you will have a suite, or you should have a suite of content that is mapped against the journey that your customers take from never having heard of you before to the point of sale and afterwards. So it's the content that is in as much as it can ever be evergreen, it is evergreen content that is there to guide people through that process, to help people understand who you are, what your vision, your values are, what your customers think of you, all these things that are there to help people as they journey through that process from never having heard of you before to buying customers, to being paying customers, through to being customers who are staying with you, buying more from you, engaging with your sort of, with your kind of everyday you're engaging with your business on a regular basis. So what I'm going to do is this isn't so great for the Instagram people. This is part of the. I just wish I could multi-stream at the same time. There's a piece of software called Yellow Duck, but it violates that will allow me to use StreamYard to go live onto Instagram at the same time as here. So the only problem is it violates terms and the sort of terms and conditions of Instagram, and so it could result in having my account shut down or something like that. So I don't particularly want to go doing that, because it seems an unnecessary risk. I will open up a little document, if I can find it, and share it with you, because it will be useful to illustrate the Hello Perfect Planner Company. Monique is so we've finished the main stage of a project for an amazing planner business, and we've got a small sort of secondary planner today. And it's really exciting to have been part of that process. And that actually, what we created there is a piece of core content about the business, about the nature of the product. And so that is a good 8 o'clock this evening. So I'll be able to share it and shout about it a bit more once it's out there. But it really is a good example of core content. So I will find this document, and which I did have open in preparation for this. Desktop. My desktop is a real sight. It's absolutely horrible. Marketing, Video Academy planning documents. There we go. There we go. Here we are. That's what I'm after. Open with. Cool. Here we are. Right. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. You'll describe it, because I can't share my screen without massively moving my camera around, and that feels like an unnecessary thing to do. So let's share my screen. Oh, the lag on this today is absolutely bananas. Well, I'm pressing buttons here, but here we go. There we go. Good stuff. I'm pressing things on StreamYard, and it's like taking a good few seconds for things to kind of actually happen. So we have a journey that every customer takes, from never having heard of you before, to being a paying customer, to being someone that you are nurturing and helping get the best out of your service or product. So for those of you who are on platforms other than Instagram, what you can see is a sort of visual representation of that journey. It is called the Content Planner Funnel, and it's a literal funnel. It's got a big funnel stuck on top of a sort of a small funnel. It's actually like a cocktail jigger. So how appropriate. So we have a number of stages. We have exposure up at the top, discovery, consideration, conversion, and then after conversion, we've got customer relationship and retention and upsell. And when I talk about core content in your business, core video content, this this kind of multi-stage process should have video content slotted in all along the way to help people go through the process in a way that, if it's done really well, doesn't have to involve humans very much. The right kind of video content created the right way with your ideal audience through this journey from never having heard of you before all the way through to helping people get the best out of the product or service, and frankly selling people more of what you've got. So I'm going to go through each of these different stages and share some ideas as to what you might be able to create for these different stages. So let's start with exposure. What do I mean? Finds out about you. So that's usually quite a short process, a short form type of content, not short form process. That could be it could be advertising. So it could be paid video ads on Facebook or on Instagram or on YouTube, or it could be a live like this. This could be the first time you've ever seen me. So this isn't short form content, but this, I wouldn't count this as core content. This is education content, kind of definition. This is ephemeral. It's kind of, whilst it can be repurposed into core content, this is kind of the here today, gone tomorrow stuff that sort of feed-based social media like Instagram or Facebook or wherever sort of specializes in. Now, there's a whole conversation around taking this and repurposing it for YouTube, which is very different. So we have exposure stuff, and that is that's the first point of contact. And this stuff could be it could be the kind of educational content that you're putting out there. So a nice thing to do, content that really get to the heart of some of the big and I hate the phrase pain points, but I'm going to use it here because it's quite a helpful phrase to employ at this stage. You can create 3 pieces of core of content that are designed to help people understand that you, as a professional, understand their key concerns in this field. So it could be, for me, it could be around kit, what kit to use, or it could be around how to be a better presenter on camera. That's another thing that works very well. But whatever it is, 3 pieces of content that can be sort of shared in an evergreen way or used as the core of a sort of the starting process to consider. But these kind of initial touch points need to show a certain number of things. They need to show you as the person. If you are the sort of business that is personal brand driven, you need to be there. You need to be seen to be sharing your expertise and knowledge, and you need to be seen to be doing it in a quick, consumable way. These do not need to be long pieces of content. These can be short and sweet and to the point. These are about quickly helping people understand your knowledge and your expertise. So top of funnel, that is the stuff that you can have that sort of gets people into your world. Now, this is where we go a little bit deeper into the kind of, so we've got discovery here. This is where we go a little bit deeper into the kind of the world of you and your business. And it's where we can share longer form learning content. So this could be your more educational blog style content. This could be free mini courses. It's a way of showing people your knowledge, your expertise. You can start to share pieces of content around offers. So this can be the place where you start to talk about in more depth your offers, sales focused way. But if the exposure phase of the funnel is about people finding out about you just in any way, shape, or form, discovery is about establishing the like and trust part, the like part. So if the exposure bit is knowing about you, knowing you exist, going, oh yeah, okay, so you are you exist as a person. The discovery understanding of your field, and that can be done through a whole bunch of different things, and things like kind of the sort of the kind of content that gives you that gives people a sort of an in-depth look at a particular subject. So it could be that, so I've got a short video series which is all about how to do good regular live video content, and that is the sort of free training that helps people understand. Video makes a great lead magnet, so this is a good point in the discovery part of the process to share your knowledge through a video lead magnet. And that's a good example of core business that would be very time consuming for you to do one-to-one, but it's actually great if you can scale it up with video. Consideration. The consideration phase is where people are going, okay, I understand who you are, I understand what you're selling, and I can understand why it would be good for my business. And there are a number of things that we want people to be doing during the consideration phase. When people are making states, we do it when we're buying anything of relative value. So, when you're buying a car or your washing machine or sofa or whatever it is, you will do a lot of due diligence. But of course, you'll always be driven by that emotional kick as well. So we're always moving between those states, and our content in the discovery phase needs to do that job as well. And in fact, we need to be moving people through those different states in a very intentional way as well. So it could be that you're creating testimonials and case studies to give people the intellectual decision-making confidence, where people can tell prospective customers about the hard benefits that have come about when they've engaged in with your services. So consider the consideration stage. It is about giving people reasons to continue their journey with you, and those can be pieces of content that share your vision and values, things where people can see that you are competent in your given field, where you have got hard proof from customers in the form of testimonials and case studies, video testimonials, video case studies that tell that story, that help people consider. Now, the conversion stage is where happens if the consideration stage has been effective, and there aren't many pieces of content that you can deploy in the conversion stage, but things like a video sales letter on a sales page, where we'll do an awful lot of heavy lifting, and all that content above that stage of the process, that moment of sale, that is all that's all leading to that moment where somebody is looking at the kind of the buy, the place where they put their card details in or sign a contract, and they are, we want them to be thinking through all the information that they've told you, that you've been telling them, that you've been using to build an understanding and a sense of trust about your expertise and knowledge. But don't think for a minute that the moment of sale is that, that's the start of the journey. So you've got people to that stage. There are two sort of parts of this process that often get forgotten: the customer relationship building stage and the retention and upsell stage. So customer relationship can be as simple as having video content that is designed to welcome people into a program. It could be used for onboarding. It can be used for kind of greeting people, telling them, thank you for buying. This is really appreciated. I'm excited to have you in my program, working one-to-one with you, or whatever it is. Thank you for buying this product. Or it could be introducing people into a Facebook group, whatever it is, whatever kind of customer relationship touch point you want to develop and grow. A little bit of video content can go an awfully long way. Now, you can personalize it. One of the things that I was talking when I was over in Palm Springs with Sage, we were, she was extolling the virtues of personalized video. Now, whilst that isn't necessarily core content, it does require you to do something again and again, that personalized touch, particularly with kind of the higher value customers, can go an awfully long way to sort of establishing a sense of trust and a sort of good feeling at the start of that professional relationship. Retention and upsell. So this is the kind of place where you can put the kind of video content that helps people get the best out of your product or service. Liz has just asked, what cocktail is it, Tom? Well, Liz, I'm glad you asked, because actually it's a very nice one. We've gone for an Applejack. So this is a Calvados based one. So it's pokey. I'm not going to lie, it's got a bit of strength to it, but it's very nice. It's Calvados and chocolate, creme de cacao. So I've got a bit of creme de cacao. Yum, yum, yum. Bit of Calva. And a bit of the old Angostura bitters. Stirred up in a glass and strained out. Very nice. I can highly recommend it. So the retention and upsell stage of the process is about helping people get the best out of your product or service. And again, that's potentially evergreen. That is potentially stuff that just sits there, and you can have all of this as part of an automated process. I'll put a picture in the. Liz says, "Oh, you have to send me a recipe." But yes, I'll put a picture in the group because it's very nice actually. It's one of the more agreeable Bernard cocktails, and I think I'm just going to have the one. Hello, Jane. How you doing? So, meanwhile, over on Facebook, Jane says, "No cocktail, just a chilled glass of Sauvignon Blanc from the Definition range. Majestic, indeed." Well, cheers, Jane. And I had a good one-to-one today, starting her off on her YouTube Kickstart journey. Today is the first day I've been feeling properly myself again, actually. I always get hit quite hard by jet lag, and you sort of read this thing, say, oh, it can take a good couple of weeks to get back to normal, and it really, really has. Was making the most ridiculous sort of I kept on booking in or setting Facebook events and in my group and putting the wrong date in. It's been driving me mad, and I keep on I was double checking and looking at stuff and going, I've done it again. I've put I was either putting things early in the morning or sort of the wrong day. It was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But my brain feels like it's back into gear now, which is great. So when I talk about core content, what I'm talking about a suite of videos that will lead people through a process. and it's stuff that doesn't change. Once it's done, it's good for, well, it's probably good for, you know, three or, you know, 2 or 3, 4 years, depending on how much change there is in your business. When I've got customers who are still using content like kind of a decade on, says, did I keep my leg hair this time? Weirdly, no, the same patch fell out. So this is a thank you so much for raising this point. When I flew back from the States earlier this year, I got back and my I was really, really badly. It's the first time I've done any sort of serious kind of, you know, really sort of kind of long haul flights. I've always flown a lot in Europe, but I'd never been to the States before, crazily. And I flew back. I was quite jet lagged out there when I went back. Came back, I was hit really hard by it. And I had a really strong sort of visceral physical response to it, to the point where the hair on my right leg from about the knee down fell out. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? So I went to the doctor. I was like, because obviously, you know, you go online and you look at sort of some symptoms and you type in sort of random hair loss on leg. And, you know, frankly, you've got everything from sort of, you know, horrible diseases or kind of just random alopecia. But as it turns out, it was probably the physical stress from kind of from the jet lag. And I thought, because I picked up some melatonin and I've been taking that, which has helped a great deal, but still it happened again. It's so weird. In exactly the same space from about the knee down. I'm not going to share pictures, obviously, but it's like smooth as a baby's bottom. It's crazy. But now that I've overshared, with that, I will move on. Andy over on Facebook, Andy says hello from Kernow. So Andy, I'm just gonna move. Andy says, can't stop, gotta go and eat, have fun. Hello, Andy. Bye. I'm glad you're in Cornwall. So just a stone's throw away from me. So yeah, so going back to the main sort of point of this live, this idea that core content in your business should be doing a repeatable job. The creation of that content doesn't have to be like, you know, all at once. This is stuff that you can create over the course of, you know, many months, or you can sort of plan it all and bang it out all in one big go. I would personally recommend taking a slightly slower attitude towards it, because you can work out what the what the benefits are for your audience, how people are responding to it, and kind of take a slightly more softly approach with it and sort of integrate it into your marketing process. But you might be the sort of person, you equally might be the sort of person who just goes, I want it all done. I want it all done now. So I would ask you to have a good think about what your core content is and how you can use that sort of almost evergreen approach to video content in your business to help people become customers, but also become customers that are using your content much more, kind of using your products or services much more effectively, getting the most out. It's a great way to add value. Ooh, so Andy, who's got a lovely business called Damsels, by the way, says, I think I've had a major break with Damsels. I'll let you know about it soon. It's very exciting. That is exciting. Andy creates the most beautiful brooches. So I urge you to go over to Etsy and check out his shop, Damsels Brooches. He has a unique, creative approach to making beautiful objects. So yeah, now I do have a one-to-one service which is all about creating core content. So if you're thinking that sounds great, Tom, but I'm never going to do it, could you just do it for me? The answer is yes. So if you think you'd like to have a chat about that, just drop me a message either here on Instagram or here on Facebook. Now this works for businesses, whether you are a solo entrepreneur, whether you are a multinational corporation. This kind of approach to core content works, and it works really well no matter your size, because this is about automating. Automating is probably the wrong word. Standardizing a process in a way that is visually appealing. It's going to be right for your audience. It's going to be right for your customers, and it's going to help people get the best out of what you do or what you sell. So that's it. I'm going to go and have a bit of supper now. I have a rather lovely fish stew to go and get my teeth into. But I might have another one of these cocktails actually. But it's been lovely to see you all here. Thank you for being here, and thank you for listening to my my information and asking interesting questions and asking about my leg hair. I will see you all next week for Content and Cocktails, although it will be slightly later next week because I am down in London. I'm filming with clients all day on Thursday, but I'm down on Wednesday at a PR thing. So Nicola Rowley has I'm doing her PR 6-pack. So it's been very exciting actually. I had my my PR sort of folder come through today, and it all makes me sound far more interesting than I really am. And I'm going to go and talk to some journalists and see if they want what I've got and want my my ugly mug in their publications or kind of a process of getting my mug out there. But yeah, it's going to be a very exciting process to go through, because I think PR is one of those things that I have completely shied away from. I'm very happy on camera, but the idea of me telling my story in print has always been slightly concerning to me. Jane, yes. Oh, well, I would love to have a chat with you about that, Jane, because I think, yes, based on the conversation we've had today, I think it would be probably quite a good fit. But there we go. I'll message you about that. So there we go. That's Content and Cocktails done for this week. I will see you next week. Have a good one. Take care. Oh, now, cocktail for next week. Homework. So the cocktail for next week, the number 3 in 100 cocktails is it's the Bacardi cocktail. It's a measure of Bacardi, a measure of lime juice, 2 dashes of grenadine, a cherry, broken ice, shaken over. It says a very pleasant cocktail. This drink is very popular in America. Sounds a bit boring. We'll do it. We're working our way through it sequentially. So Bacardi cocktail it is next week. We're sort of having 1940s Bacardi breezes, it seems. So there we go. Thanks, Bernard. Yep. See you next week. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.